Okay, thank you, Francis, for agreeing to do this, especially when you're in the throes of moving. Obviously, you're sort of 2 days away from moving. If you sort of look around, everything's in a sort of state of flux.
Turmoil.
Yeah, turmoil. I always thought it was quite nice when someone who's been through an experience recently to sort of pass on, I suppose, honest and real stories about your experiences, and hopefully to help them make that move or decision a little bit easier. I thought a good place to start would be talking about, Hamada, your husband, and yourself, and a little bit about your story. Your history here, maybe also what you're looking to achieve. Tell me about that, Francis. So you've been here for a wee while, haven't you?
Oh, we've been here for 50 years.
Yep.
And we first came here, we had this house built, and it's a Beasley home. And we came here, we used to have a little cottage up in Massey in Red Hills Road.
Yep.
And we sold that to, it was whole £450.
I was there a wee while ago, yeah.
Yeah, and it was on a half-acre section. But it was too far away, so my husband Henry used to work at Crown Lynn at the time. And of course, as soon as we moved here, he moved down to Papakura. So, but that was all right. They had a car. There were several people from here used to go down there.
Yeah.
And we've had 4 children.
Yeah.
And we've got 10 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren.
Must have been I suppose a big decision. What were you looking to do? Like you mentioned, you've obviously moving closer to Hamada's family.
Yeah,
And
when we're going up north,
yeah,
because we've sold here, we're going up north. My husband comes from up at Parkanai, which is close to Opanoni.
Yeah.
And he wanted to move back home, so that's why we're doing it. But also, because Auckland's getting so busy and a few nasty things happen and things like that,
Yep.
it's a thing to do, I think. And the house we've bought up there is straight across the road from the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I saw that.
it'll be a more relaxing sort of lifestyle.
I saw that picture when I first met you of that little deck that goes down. You can sort of see the water through the little area. Now, obviously you haven't sold or bought a huge deal, but you have had experiences, with your son selling. He sold the one down below.
Yes, well, when we were here, this section went straight down there to the bottom of the hill. And when Paul found his lady, we gave him half the section because it had bamboo on it, and he cleaned it all up.
Yep.
So we gave him that, and they built a house there. And when they went to sell it, because they had children then and it got too small for them, so they built a house up in Huia. And they found land agents, but I mention names.
Don't mention names. I think just mention the process and how it was. Yeah.
The land agent they got talked them into having an auction.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be what a lot of people did then. It's about 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
And they had the auction, but they were very disappointed because it cost them to have the auction, quite a bit actually. And they were disappointed because all that came were land agents and a few neighbours that weren't really buying. So they took it when they said they got an offer, but it wasn't enough for what they wanted. And so they went to a Gleneden agency, I think it was, I won't say who it was, and they sold it in the next couple of days through that, and that was through the land agent selling it, not an auction.
Yeah.
So they were a bit put off with that, and that's why I went to Glover's, because they only bring people through their houses through appointments.
Yep.
And the land agents are really good. And,
Well, you're a little bit biased now, but
no, it's not biased. It's true.
Okay.
No.
Tell me about those experiences with, I suppose, meeting me first, and then I suppose through the initial marketing phase. How did you find that? Was it?
Well, see, I had another land agent in, but I didn't like him. But as soon as you came in, it was totally different. You just had that sort of feeling of trust, and you knew what you were doing, and you explained things really well. you know, and you seemed to care about what you were doing, and that's what made me decide, yes, this is it, you know. So
Oh, thank you.
that's why we did.
Okay, obviously buyers came through and the marketing started, and I know you and Hamada like basically preferred to sort of leave the house when people were coming through, which is good and has its positive and negatives. But tell me the process where you came to when actually offers started coming in, like and I suppose the end result, like that whole end part.
Yeah, well, that was that Saturday we went away, because it was about half a dozen people came through that day.
Yep.
I mean, the house only took 4 days to sell, so how do you go about that, you know? But, yeah, that Saturday we went away, and then they came back saying they had offers, and came in the next couple of days, I think it was.
Yeah, well, I think the first offer came forward, I think it was the Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And we obviously held that one back because we still had interest in people coming through.
Yeah.
There was people who had been through once already, wanted their second viewing and things like that. So obviously it makes sense to sort of tap into that demand still.
Yes, yeah.
I suppose, so in terms of your price that you actually ended up receiving, because you've obviously gone unconditional now, tell me.
Oh, yeah, well, we were flabbergasted when they said about the price, because we were expecting what you advertised it for, you know.
Yep.
And to get what we did was really good.
Yeah, I think it's about 30.
Well, it was advertised at 545.
Yep.
And we got 580.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a big difference.
Mm.
No.
Cool. Okay. I suppose won't keep you any much longer. Have you got any other final thoughts or just little messages? It's maybe.
Well, I can tell you now, if I'd have known how much work it was, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Well, you had. Yeah. Well, you still. How many skip bins have you had? You're on your 8th. Obviously, 53 years of built up.
Of course, we had potteries. We had a pottery here, and of course, most of the rubbish has been through that. You know, all the moulds and all that sort of stuff. And my son's bashed down the kilns that they had were no good now, and cleaned up the section where all stuff was. You know, I mean, that was a big job. But it's their fault because they left it there.
Well, you're almost there. Like I say, always focus on that goal of having your first cup of tea on that porch. And just looking around, because I remember when I first met you, you had thousands of ornaments, family photos on the wall, pictures, paintings.
Yeah, the house doesn't feel the same to me now.
No, it's sort of all your little touches you've added have sort of gone, which means, I imagine the hard work's done now, so.
Yeah, yes, no, well, that's true. It's mainly the inside's all gone. All they've got to do is move the furniture, so to speak, There's about 60 boxes outside.
Okay, well, thank you, Marty. Hopefully that does help people. Like I said, there's going to be lots of people, not exactly the same stories, but people that have been in a home for a long time and sort of nervous, obviously, as you would be, about making that move.
Too, all of our kids, we didn't have the money to give them money to start up, but we let them come home to live so they could save money.
Yeah.
So it's always been a home, and the kids still think of it like that now. Not that they're kids, I mean the oldest one's 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, it's one of those things,
Okay. Well,
you do for family.
Well, thank you again. I think we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time.
Okay.